Hey everyone, my name is Annie Walters, and today we are doing Reflection 10 with Singer Wells and Sandra Sott. Our discussion is to basically just kind of, in our own words, figure out what each author is trying to say, what their main point is. We need to also add a quote from each author that we thought kind of best described something that they are arguing about. So I'm going to start with Singer and Wells. Singer and Wells, they bring up about 5 different really heavy points about ectogenesis, and the first one that they bring up is that it's a scientific inevitability. More and more hospitals are asking for the hospitals to find a way to keep premature babies from dying because of how young they are, and so because of that, I feel like hospitals and other scientific research facilities are going to try to push the gestation closer and closer to where you can have a child basically outside of the womb earlier and earlier and earlier. And that they honestly think that someday it'll be from the very beginning of gestation all the way to full development without having any kind of problems. Something else that they argue is that it would it basically liberates women, and how it would free them from the burdens of having a pregnancy, and that they would no longer have burdens or dangers, and basically the woman would be free physically and could compete with men equally. They also think that mechanical wombs would undermine the social value of women, but the benefits outweigh this, which I thought was kind of interesting. They think it could be a possible source of organs and tissues. My quote is actually on page 18 in the first section. Ectogenesis would make it technically possible to mass produce babies. And then I also added a second quote because I thought it was important too. On the same page, the use of embryo as a means of growing organs as spare parts. That kind of was unsettling to me, that it's actually something that I feel like ectogenesis would kind of turn more into, and I feel like that's kind of what they're saying a lot of in certain sections of this author, and then it might be a possible solution for the traditional abortion debate that we are constantly having, and that it might be able to respect both sides by having a non-terminal abortion. That way it wouldn't actually hurt the fetus, but the woman would not have to continue with the pregnancy. I thought that was actually kind of interesting, and it would be something that would benefit both sides. So I thought that was a good explanation. And then Sandra Sott, she argues from 3 different perspectives. It's all a feminist side, but she argues about the liberal feminism, the rational feminism, and then also the cultural feminism. The liberal feminism, would allow women to enjoy motherhood without actually being a mother. So basically makes it where there may be like a social expectation, and the ability to use a machine might be a default option, but it would basically allow freedom to become mothers, and freedom from the burdens of pregnancy, and they also looked at the fact that somebody long down from the road now, if they were pregnant, it would almost be an anomaly, where it would be almost something that was unheard of. Rational feminisms, they think that it's socially ingrained sexism, and that also the cultural feminism and the ethics of care, it takes relationships as a starting point. And that's actually something that I wanted to use as my quote, that it's on page 120 for Sandra Sott, that studies are showing that the material deprivation immediately after birth can severely impact a child's ability to communicate and relate, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think that ectogenesis is something that we should consider, because there's a lot of things that scientists still can't figure out, but there's something special that happens between a mother and a fetus, and I don't think that ectogenesis is going to be something that that we can find in order to incorporate that, and that's my discussion.